veľmi rada teraz pozvala na pódium Guida Longhitana. Welcome. Hi. Guido was born in Italy,
Yes,
right?
yes,
But he
correct,
lives for 20 years in
correct.
Slovakia?
20 years.
20 years, 20 long years. You're a manager of two companies, right?
Two manufacturing companies.
And you're a documentary photographer.
Correct.
Correct. You have a new book that is called About the Future, which will be out in June,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong, okay? And it's 51 stories of inspirational women about the healthcare. So how was it, How did you collect these 51 stories? How long did it take? What kind of women are they?
Well, with the pandemic, we all saw how important was healthcare for all of us. And then it's then when I realized that this was a story that needed to be told, especially in Slovakia. And who better could tell these stories than women, which represent most of the workers in this sector. So 1.5 years ago, I started going around, notwithstanding the pandemic, so I was doubting if it could be possible to enter hospitals, ambulances,
But it was not easy, right?
it was absolutely not easy. But surprisingly, women which didn't know me, they saw this Italian coming and asking to see their work and to talk to them, opened their doors. So I start meeting them. I start taking pictures. First one was in Bratislava in the National Oncological Hospital. And amazing listening their stories.
Mm-hmm. So what struck you the most about some examples of the female leadership you witnessed them? What is the story that, you remember and you could,
Well, it's a very difficult sector. It's a sector which is a lot overloaded. So what I immediately noticed that notwithstanding the situation, which is lacking of personnel, of technology sometimes, the women are making the difference, trying to bring in the change. So struck me the mentality to the resilience to go on, the mentality to bring also experiences from abroad, which could change in positive the healthcare. I met many women. From the surgeon to practitioners to dentists. What struck me how they try to change the society from inside, bringing changes.
Mm-hmm. Give me an example of a woman that you took a picture and you remember the story that was like really interesting or emotional.
Well, one woman told me what is important for us is to have doctors which can work with us, which not only know English language, so they are open to the innovation from outside, but they are ready to change, open to change, and that they have a critical thinking. So ready to discuss, to put in discussion what they learned in school or through the practice. Yeah.
Why do you think that as a society we constantly fail to give high regard both in terms of respect and fair treatment to professions which are really important for our society, like healthcare and others, and we can see the disparities in education, healthcare, and like in the whole society. Why is that?
I think sometimes bad experience shape us. But another aspect that could help is connecting these workers, connecting doctors, nurses, connecting the woman or the men working there, so they could share their experiences. This would bring a change, which could have a positive impact also on the idea that we have about the healthcare.
We spoke here, before we started discussion about Italy, and I just came back from Tuscany, and the machismo in your country. I'm sorry to speaking in general, but the machismo in your country is, and the sexism for me, as a blonde woman is like, it's really bad. Let's establish
Yes.
that. So how, like an Italian guy from Italy that is very patriarchist and, machist. How did you come to, publishing books about women and their stories, and talking about empathy and disparity? How come?
Well,
What is your story?
I'm just fortunate. In my life, I've met plenty of extraordinary women, and somehow they shaped my thought toward the woman, and they shaped myself, what I am today. Honestly, there is some also prejudice. Coming from Italy, I expected a bigger patriarchism in Slovakia, which I didn't find. So I found
So
really...
it isn't that bad?
It's positive. I mean, I see a society more open toward the woman. Sometimes are the woman itself, themselves, that they are thinking more like men. But overall, I found a society open. Then we have also a situation where I met head of departments where they told me, oh, we have also women, we don't have problems, which means that
they do have problem indeed.
They think that it's another area of the society.
Yeah. So what do you think, what kind of interventions we need to do, in the society to change the attitude? Although you said it's not that bad, but it's still there are some issues. So what do we need to change?
But that's something very difficult to change the mentality also in Slovakia. There is, of course, also in Slovakia some patriarchism. I think that the women in Slovakia have the voice. We don't need to give them the voice. They need to feel empowered to have a voice, and the people need to understand that they have to listen to the woman. This can change the society. So when you see what changes they were able to bring inside their departments, which is the stories which we collected, then you realize the change is possible. So it's the mentality in Slovakia sometimes is like, okay, it's like that, it was like that, it will be like that, we cannot change it. But if everybody does something, then we can shape the future. And who else better than women can really shape the future if they want to.
So you've collected the stories and you took the photographs during pandemic. So what do you think the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us, about the society and about appreciation and perception of healthcare and, the positions in healthcare, not only doctors, but nurses and other positions. So do we appreciate more now, these kind of people?
But the society is more and more polarized. So the pandemic has accelerated the situation. So who was good and had a good opinion for the healthcare increased this, who didn't have it moved more on the negative side. But my positive take from the pandemic is the resilience of the workers in this sector, which were able, having nothing, having been not prepared, no one was prepared in the world, but also Slovakia was not prepared for the hospitals, was not prepared for the vaccination, but they, especially the women, they tried to find the solutions, they put in place solutions, and we see how Slovakia could come out in a positive way from the pandemic. So that's the core of our society, a society which is ready for the change, which has to be empowered.
Yeah, let's hope for that. So last question, where can we get your book in June? How can I find
Will be
your
distributed in all the bookstores, will be also distributed in hospitals, universities. We hope that it will inspire the current generations and the new generations so that in the future we can have a better life, all of us, longer life, all of us.
Yeah. About the future is called the book. It will be out in June. Guido Longhitano, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for an inspiring interview. Thank you. No a ak dovolíte, tak ja teraz odovzdávam slovo kolegovi